welcome. Hi. Hello. Oh my gosh. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Fatima. I live in the beautiful desert of Las Vegas, Nevada with my wonderful husband and 4 kitty cats. We are currently a sink household, single income, no kids. Yeah, a sink household. And on this channel, of course, I will be talking about finance, life, and just all the core memories. Currently, I work in fintech. My role is known as a deployment representative and onboarding coordinator, and I make about $97,000 a year with my corporate income. So welcome, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I've pulled out my budgeting spreadsheet, and I first want to go over a little bit more of my January budget just because there were a couple more transactions that I did at the end of the month. In my last video, which is my how I budget video, I talked about knowing that I was going to spend a little bit more money when I was closing out my January budget before the end of the month. So I made sure to allocate that amount of money and made sure to leave it in my checking account just to make sure that I'd have that money on hand once I was ready to transfer it over to my credit cards. We're going to go ahead, go over some of the transactions. So I had 4 additional transactions. One of them was a birthday present to my nephew. The other one was actually income that I made. I sold something on Facebook Marketplace, which was really awesome. I have not sold anything on Facebook Marketplace in a hot minute, so I'm really glad I was able to sell a big ticket item for $150. And I made a donation, and then I contributed to my IRA. So those were the 4 additional transactions that I added in January. So when we go to the January budget, it tells me right here, left to spend $56.24. And once more, that's including everything. That's pretty much including the investments, which includes that additional $300. The savings, I don't have anything allocated yet for savings, but we're gonna get into that in a different video. My bills, my housing, transportation, groceries and eating out, personal, pets, health and fitness, fun and travel, business expenses, gifts and donations, and of course, other. Now, one of the major differences that I'm doing for February is increasing my grocery budget. So what I did in the beginning of January is pretty much looked at my previous spending for 2023, looked at all the numbers, looked at all the average amounts of all the categories, got that average number, multiplied it by 12, and that's how much I want to spend for 2024. So for groceries, originally, I wanted to only spend $460 a month in groceries, but with inflation and just, you know, how expensive food is getting, I'm gonna up that to $500. I might, depending on how February goes, I might have to up that to $550. So we'll see. It's definitely a lot lower than when I was living in Hawaii, that is for sure. In Hawaii, we were spending pretty much close to $650, closer to $700 at some points because the food is imported, a lot more expensive. So for sure for February, we're going to be increasing that. And I actually went ahead and I increased it in my initial setup for my groceries. So I'll show you guys that really quick. When I mentioned the average amount for each category, multiplied it by 12. So for this year, I only want to spend a total of $60,000. You can see right here, groceries and eating out, it's $7,500. I really wish there was a section where I can go into the subcategories. So I think I'm going to make a separate tab to separate those categories, because right here you can only see groceries and eating out, but I want to see them separately, right? So for groceries, I am allocating $6,000 for the whole year total, right? So divide that by 12, that's $500. And then for eating out, we decided to allocate $1,500, so divide that by 12, and that is the amount that we're going to be able to spend each month. So far for eating out, we did great this month. I'm really proud of ourselves. There were a couple of categories that we went over, but we hope that at the end of the year they pretty much balance out, or we can spend even less than $60,000. Just kind of wanted to give a little bit of a background of how I budget and where I get these numbers from. And really quickly, going back to January, we are almost getting there to February, I promise. Just want to summarize really quick. My projected gross income was $8,670 with 37 cents. My actual gross income ended up being $10,064 with 96 cents. My bills and expenses were a budgeted amount of $4,768 with 53 cents. My actual amount was $4,712 with 29 cents, which is awesome. I was below my actual budgeted amount. My investments, I budgeted $1,771 with 96 cents, and this also includes everything that goes towards my 401k, my HSA. So of course, before I even get my net income, but the actual amount was $2,133.11, which is great. I'm really happy about that amount. Now, in my savings, I budgeted zero, actual zero, and that's because I'm going to take care of that in a separate video because I still have yet to figure out my sinking funds and where they're at for the year 2024. Even though it says zero, it's not always going to be that. I'm really hoping that February we're going to get it together and we're going to get the sinking fund situation sorted out. Okay, enough about January. Let's get into our February budget. So February is going to be a completely clean slate. So we're going to start by putting my income amount, and of course this is just going to be the budgeted amount, but my income honestly never changes. I pretty much know sometimes to the very last cent. I know exactly the amount, but I'm going to go ahead and log into my employee portal just to see the current amount that I got this paycheck because I already got paid. I do get paid 2 days earlier with the current bank that I bank with. As I mentioned, clean slate, and I also use my gross income. I don't use my net income. So we're gonna put the full amount. So for this paycheck, I got $40.73, and we're gonna go ahead and multiply that by 2. So I'm gonna budget $8,146. Then YouTube income, of course, I'm not making anything off of YouTube right now. Hopefully in the future I do, so we're gonna put 0. Business income, I'm gonna put 0 for right now. Bonus, I'm not expecting any bonus. I'm not expecting any work reimbursements, no crypto. Online selling, Facebook Marketplace, I really want to try and sell $50 worth on Facebook Marketplace, so I'm gonna put $50. Cash outs, credit card rewards, I'm gonna put 0 for right now because I'm not, to be honest, I'm not sure. IRS, I'm gonna put 0. Refunds, 0. Gift cards, 0. And for my 401k Roth employer match and HSA employer match, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to copy the amounts from February. And those amounts are pretty accurate. If I actually look at my first paycheck right now and I look at the deductions, I can already tell that 401k is pretty on par. Yep, I got 120 with 69 cents in this paycheck. I do expect to get another 120, making it 240 at least with, I don't know, maybe it'll be at 242. Apologies, I think I said 140. I meant 240. Now if we go down here, I can see that my total should be $8,770 with 37 cents. Very pleased with that. Hopefully the actual amount will be higher. We'll see if I get any, I don't know, random gift cards from Costco and any survey money for any of the surveys that I completed in January. If I can cash that out for February, that would be great. Sometimes I can't, sometimes I can. For pre-tax deductions, I'm going to use the same amounts as last time. Those never change. They're gonna be the same unless I decide to make any changes to my health insurance plan, upgrade or downgrade my dental. So for medical, I am always paying $413 with 2 cents a month. Dental, I am always paying $116 with 36 cents a month. And vision, I pay $12.78 a month. For my taxes, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy the numbers from last month. And in January for taxes, I paid 517 cents in Social Security. Now, this might be higher. I want to say it might be a tiny bit higher just because, or actually it might be a tiny bit lower because I got a bonus. So, but then I also lost some money. I didn't work for a week and it was unpaid because of my work permit. It wasn't renewed on time. I'm gonna do 117 for Medicare and then 700 and let's do 740 for federal taxes. 740. And I'm just gonna do 501. I'm gonna round. I mean, if I round to the nearest 10, it should have been exactly 500, but I'm just gonna add that $1 just in case. Now let's move to investments. For investments, I'm gonna copy my 401k Roth, my HSA employer match, and my 401k Roth employer match. I'm gonna go ahead and copy those and I'm gonna put them on February. Now, when it comes to my Roth IRA, I want to try to contribute a little bit more than last month. Last month, in total, we were able to contribute $600. I might just stick to $300 for my Roth IRA, actually. Even though I'd want to contribute more, I might not be able to because Dylan and I were talking about moving, and a lot of the houses that we're looking at in the specific area that we want to move into don't have a washer, dryer, and fridge included in the living arrangement. So we have a feeling that we might have to buy our own washer, dryer, and fridge. So I might have to increase my moving fund to be probably $5,000 instead of the, I think originally I was thinking about $2,000. Gotta be careful with where I'm placing my money, especially because we do have to be out of here by the end of May. Okay, and now for these, I'm just always gonna put 0 because I no longer have those accounts active, but because the spreadsheet pulls from the setup, this is always going to show, and to be honest, it doesn't bother me. It's perfectly fine. So total for investments should come out to be $1,771 with 96 cents. Now for debt, nothing because I don't have any debt. Savings, I'm not going to put anything right now. I just got to figure out what's happening right now with my sinking funds. All right, now bills. So a lot of these I can just transfer over from January. So we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and copy. And then let's paste. And then I'm just gonna go over it a little bit. So rent looks pretty good. Water, sewer, and common rooms. I'm gonna increase that to 88. Car parking will always stay the same. Electricity was a little higher, 153. So let's do 155. Cell phone, I'm gonna put the exact amount. Interesting, I don't know why I put 115 for myself. Oh, I see why. I made a mistake. So cell phone is usually 150. I'm gonna put 151. Internet, 115. Now for my cell phone, I actually do plan on canceling my current plan with Verizon. They're gonna actually increase all of my phone lines to $4, and we just cannot have that. We cannot have that. So I am thinking about going to a different carrier. Okay, life insurance will always be the same. Car insurance is 0 because I do pay it every 6 months. Amazon Prime, $14.99. Netflix, $24.59. I do pay for an extra screen for my parents. Apple storage, $10.46. Hulu, 99 cents. YouTube Premium, $22.99. Yearly subscriptions, we can actually take that off because I already paid that yearly subscription, so it's 0. I don't expect to pay anything in February. I double checked, and as of right now, I don't see anything pending for February. which is good because for January, I really wasn't expecting that yearly subscription. I kind of had an idea that it was coming up, but I totally didn't think it was for January. And it's the budgeting app that I use to keep track of my wallet. So I'm just transferring over the dates, except for yearly subscription. We're going to take that off. And then actually, I'm not even going to put 0 for yearly subscription just so that it's completely blank slate. Perfect. So rent has already been paid for. It's been taken out of my bank account. We're good to go on that, as well as car parking because those go hand in hand together. All right, now let's go to housing. So for household, I'm gonna just copy the same numbers as the previous month, which is $100, and toiletries the same as well, $80. Actually, I reflected a little bit right now, and I think for household items, I'm gonna put 50, and I'm gonna put 50 for toiletries because January was more expensive in household and toiletries because I did notice that we were running out of a lot of toiletries items, and there were some planned household items that I was already meaning to get that we really needed for our place, so I did increase it. Normally what I should be contributing to this subcategory is $50, as well as toiletries $50. I have a total of $600 for the year for both categories, so we're gonna do 50-50 because that way we stick within the budget. And hopefully this month I actually don't end up touching all of households and only a tiny bit of toiletries because I already know I for sure am going to be touching toiletries. So last month for transportation, I did not spend anything. I didn't touch any of the $80 that I budgeted for transportation, which is great. So we're gonna continue on though with the same amount. We're gonna put $80. The reason why I'm doing that is because I know for sure I'm gonna need gas really soon. I'm running very low. I do work from home, so we honestly don't spend a lot of money on gas unless we're traveling to California to visit family. We should only have to touch our gas budget once. We might only have to spend like $30, but just in case, I'm still gonna allocate $80 to my gas subcategory. Car expenses. I have to get an oil change done on my car. I really don't know how much an oil change is gonna cost me here in Nevada. In Hawaii, it was extremely expensive. I'm gonna say $60. It might be a little bit more, but I do want to try to get that oil change done before we decide to take a long trip to California because I know it is in dire need of an oil change. Car registration, of course, 0. Car insurance, 0. And those subcategories are under my transportation categories, the same as the other investment categories. It gets pulled from my setup, so I just ignore those. It really doesn't bother me, but it's always good to have them there for when I'm ready to fill out the budgeting section. Groceries and eating out. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm increasing my budgeted grocery amount to $500. Eating out, I'm gonna keep it at $150, which is, actually $125. Let's do the same amount, $125. I was getting a little carried away there, wanting to do $150, so we're gonna stick to $125. We did so good last month with not eating out, but trust me, I was tempted. I had to get a lot of no's from Dylan, so I'm hoping I continue to get those no's because they really help. They really, really help. All right, personal, Dylan, kitties, beauty, healthcare. So let's look back at January. So for personal, $150. Of course, I went over. I kind of always go over, and I really need to stop. I should really make that a goal for this month. That'll be a goal for this month. Don't go over personal at all. So I get $150 for personal, Dylan gets $150 as well. Kitties, we went over on our cats, $30.60, which is perfectly fine. They're our babies. If we go over for them, no big deal. But we're gonna go ahead and add $116. Then for beauty, I'm gonna add the same amount as last, $75. And healthcare, I do have a bill that I need to pay. It's kind of a hefty bill, but I'm trying to figure out the coding of the bill because I do think that they charged me incorrectly. But I'm gonna go ahead and put $300 for the meantime. Fun and travel. So because this is Dylan's birthday month, I want to put a good amount towards fun. Like a really good amount. So last month for fun, I put 300. I think I'm gonna do the same amount because last month for fun, it was more towards me with my paint and sip event that I had. It was so much fun. It was a blast. I'll add a video right here just so that you guys can see really quickly. It was amazing. I highly recommend if you can host a paint and sip event, please do so. They're a blast. So I'm gonna do 300 for his birthday month. And then travel, I will be staying at a hotel for 2 days so that he could have the house to himself with his cousins that are coming down to spend his birthday with him. I'm gonna put 0 just because I already got the hotel and we included that amount in the last budget. I do know I'm gonna have to place a deposit when I arrive to the hotel, which is perfectly fine. I'll do it on the credit card. There'll just be a hold. But I think I'm pretty much set for travel, especially because we have $80 in gas, right? Business expenses is going to be the same amount. My Canva amount. And then work lunches, nothing. Coding, nothing. Taxes, I should probably do my taxes next month. I think just get it out of the way. I want to say, perfect, I didn't add anything for taxes for last month. So for this month, I'm just checking my notes. We're gonna do 50. I do my taxes on, I forgot what it's called, but it's not TurboTax. I will tell you that. I think it's called federal credit, free credit something. I don't know what it's called. I forgot. I'll put it right here for you guys. I highly recommend that you do your taxes there because it's so much cheaper. Forget about TurboTax. It's expensive. It's ridiculous. This website is so much cheaper. So next one that we have is gifts and donations. Last month we did have my nephew's birthday. This month we have Dylan's birthday, of course. And we also have my dad's birthday. I gave my dad a pretty big Christmas present this last Christmas. I gave him some Oakley glasses. So I think that for him, this birthday is going to be a little bit smaller. And for Dylan, I do want to get him something nice. I want to get him something really sentimental. So I'm going to budget 150. Yeah, I should be okay to budget 150. Last month I did budget $222 with 33 cents. It's actually really interesting that I budgeted $222 with 33 cents because my allocated amount for the year is 900. So technically I should have only budgeted 75, but it's fine. It's okay because I was still under the amount. I think in total it was just $119 with 59 cents. And then I didn't budget anything for donations, but I did donate $50, so perfectly fine. And for donations for the year, I did allocate $500, which $50 out of 500, I have $450 left to donate for the rest of the year. So I think 100 for Dylan and then $50 for my dad should be perfect. And I really don't think there are any other birthdays in February. I think his brother has a birthday and I'm not sure if we're gonna gift him anything, but if we do, I'll have to come back and revisit this. Now let's go to other. So for this category, I really don't have anything to add for my mom and dad. There are really no expenses that they need help with this month. My dog, which now belongs to my dad, nothing going on either. They're not going to be doing the blood work this coming month. I think they're going to wait until March. Miscellaneous, I think I do want to add to miscellaneous just because every now and then there's this weird amount that you have to spend that you just don't know where it falls under. So I'm just gonna do $15 just in case. You never know. And then I do have my buffer. I have left to budget $542. 500, I wish, $54.32. I decided I am gonna add an additional $50 to gifts. Actually, hold that thought. Hold that thought. I'm going to increase my $150 for gifts to $170 because we are going to give Dylan's brother a cake. Well, it's kind of a 2-for-1 because his birthday is in February as well. But I want to include that cake in the gift section just because it's not going to be fully my husband's birthday cake. It's going to be his brother's too, so I just feel like it's only fair. Perfect. Now I have I keep doing that. I was just about to say $340. Oh my goodness. Now I have $34.32 left over, and I really want to do a zero-based budget this month. I want to give it a go. I have not done a zero-based budget in quite some time, and I'm really hoping that this $300 healthcare charge goes drastically down. That way I get some money back to just throw into my investments or my savings. And actually the $34.32, I'm gonna put it into a sinking fund. And for right now, I'm gonna just pick the moving fund just for picking sakes. So we're gonna put $34.32 in the moving sinking funds. And that's it. Now we have a zero-based budget, which is perfect. I have already done a little bit of shopping, so I'm gonna input those transactions, and then I'm gonna come back and we can start to see what is already being taken out of what specific categories, and that way we can see where I'm at so far. So let's do that. I went ahead and I took care of my transactions for the beginning of this month. I started off with my corporate income, and you can see right here that I have the gross income amount, which is $4,073. And then I went ahead and I added the investments that are going into my 401k, then my Safe Harbor, which is my employer match, HSA, and then my HSA employer match. I also add my Safe Harbor and my HSA employer match as income. So I'll do a separate transaction basically, so that it counts on the income section of it, and then it also counts on the investment section of it. Hopefully that makes sense when we look again at February budget. Then I have federal, Medicare, Social Security, medical, dental, and vision. And I already inputted all the amounts on all of those. And I bought groceries, and I added that information. Where did I buy groceries? Costco groceries. We're gonna add that. So I bought groceries at Costco. I put that information in there already. I bought dry food for our cats. And I always like to put the store that I buy things at just for reference. So Costco dry food, then I bought some kitty cat probiotic. I bought that on Chewy. I got a really good deal on that. And I totally forgot that my internet went through. I have everything on auto payment. I just function so much better when things are on auto payment. So my internet went through. It was 115 with 16 cents. So I added that transaction. Then I got a Costco refund that went through already for $8.59. It was a recall. And of course, I got my House of Flame and Shadow book. I am so excited about that book. I have been looking forward to read it. I already started some of it. Then we went to Trader Joe's as well because I wanted some creamer, and they were all out of my favorite creamer. So I added that expense. So now if we go back and we look at February, we already got some numbers working in here. I forgot to mention a couple of things. We'll go over those things after we look at how the spreadsheet is looking so far. So left to spend, we have $4,760 with 23 cents. Left to budget, of course, zero, because we are trying a zero-based budget this month. If we go down here, we already have the income amount. So I do have a difference of $4,073, and I do expect to get that amount in my next paycheck. I still have a -50 for Facebook Marketplace because of course I haven't sold anything. I will be posting a couple of items tomorrow. Refunds were in the green. Wasn't expecting any refunds, $8.59. I honestly just checked my phone earlier and the refund already went through. And you know what? I should have been expecting a refund. I just totally forgot. So was expecting a refund. Okay, and then I already have my employer match, and this is what I'm missing. I'm in need of 119 with 31 cents and 161 with 46 cents. So this should actually be a little bit higher. I think for my January employee match, it was a little lower because it was still in the year 2023. So the contribution limits were lower, and what my employer was able to match was lower. So it should be a little bit higher. So let me do the math and fix that. Yes. We're gonna go over and fix this. And now that I'm talking about an HSA account, I'm gonna go back and I am going to remove the $300 in the healthcare section. So I'm gonna put 0 because I have an HSA account. And if I do need to pay for healthcare this month, I'm just gonna pull it out of my HSA account and then update it on my HSA spreadsheet, because I do have a separate spreadsheet for my HSA. I do have a specific amount within my HSA invested, and then I have a specific amount. I think I have about $2,000 that I can pull out from where I can pay for any healthcare expenses. So I do know that I am going to be owing probably a total of $1,000 from a health situation I had last year. But of course, I'm not going to pay that right away. It's going to be slowly coming in as the claims are approved. So that gives me back money to budget. Left to budget, we actually have $311 with 45 cents. That amount, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look over, let's look over this one more time. We'll go to our housing, household items. I think we're still good at 50. Toiletries, we're still good at 50. Yeah, I don't think I need to increase that. Gas, still good at 80. Car expenses good at 60. Groceries and eating out, we're good there. And you can already see that the graph is showing me on groceries that I have remaining $400. I've used 100. Wow, 100 exact. That's pretty cool. And then personal, we're gonna keep that. Kitties, keep that. Beauty, keep that. Fun, I think I'm gonna increase fun with 100 more, so I'm gonna do 400. So that leaves us with 211 with 45 cents. YouTube expense, we're gonna keep that. Taxes, we're gonna keep that. Gifts, we're gonna keep that. I think 100 to Dylan, and then 50 to my dad, and 20 to his brother. I think we're good there. I might possibly increase the 100 for Dylan, because the gift that I want to get him, I hope that I can get it on sale. If not, I might be over a little bit, which is fine. Donations, I'm gonna leave that as 0. Miscellaneous, we're gonna keep that. Okay, perfect. So now the remaining $211 with 45 cents, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just add that all towards my moving fund for now. Actually, let's delete 34, so 245.77. Okay, let's do 45.77 to, this is really hard. I don't know where to put it. I think for now we're gonna put it all towards our moving fund, just because if we need to buy a fridge, a washer, a dryer, I really want to make that a priority. I really do. Okay, so back to zero-based budget, which is perfect. A couple of the other things that I mentioned earlier that I didn't get to tell you about. Oh, let's click off our not cell phone. Internet. Our internet got paid, which is perfect. But I want to go over my monthly financial goals. One of them being, do not go over personal budget. So don't go over personal budget. Don't go over fun budget. Let's do budgeted amount, because that makes a little bit more sense. Amount. What else? Stick to your savings. And what I mean by that is that don't overspend on anything. I'm really, really hoping that we can make that happen. I want to do more, but let's just leave it there. Oh, sell on Facebook Marketplace. Sell $50 worth on FB Marketplace. And I've already found things around the house that I know I could sell if I tried. I think that's good. I think that's good. Oh, let's put on here complete sinking funds goals. We gotta make that happen. We gotta make that happen. Wealth affirmations. I am confident. I don't know how to spell. About my money decisions. And a little happy face. I don't know if that really is an affirmation, but I feel good about this month. I really, really do. And then I'm gonna put money is my best friend. At least this month, I feel like money is my best friend. Because I don't know, there's something about this month that just feels really good. It just feels really good. I feel like we're gonna reach our goals, we're gonna make them happen. I don't know if I should add that one more goal. I can't think of anything else. Let's see. Don't go over personal budgeted amount. Don't go over fund budget amount. Stick to your savings. Sell 50 worth on Facebook Marketplace. Complete sinking funds goals. Okay. I think, yeah, that's fine. Another section that I want to show you guys is my expense categories to track this month. I decided to track groceries, eating out, personal, Dylan, fun, and gifts. So far so good on groceries and personal. We're gonna try to make it happen. We're gonna try to stay within personal. And I guess maybe one of my goals I can put is stick within gifts budgeted amount. Yeah, let's do that. Won't go over gifts budgeted amount. Yeah, I think I can do that. I think I can make that happen. And I think that's it. I think we are done. This we're gonna fill out at the end of the month, my money monthly reflection. That'll be a separate video when I'm ready to close out my February budget. But for right now, we're good to go. I'm looking forward to the rest of the month. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me if you made it all the way through. Let me know down below, what do you look forward to this month? I'd really like to know. Bye guys.